So as we recognize the legacy and those who've been there from the beginning, I'd like to welcome to the stage Mr. Jim Barron, CGA Director at Large and past Chairman of the Board. Jim?
Thank you, Bob. Good morning, everybody. The next gentleman that I'm going to introduce right now, I met in August of 1998 at a little meeting we had in Crystal City, and I know a lot of you folks were at that meeting and still active today. And at that meeting was the beginning of what you all are seeing here today, the Common Ground Study and the Common Ground Alliance. Rich Felder, ahead of OPS in the late 1990s, led the way from the government side to do the Common Ground Study and then got Congress to authorize $500,000 to form the CGA. And he worked to help it get incorporated. Rich Felder was head of the Office of Pipeline Safety from 1995 to 2000. His vision for the CGA as a nonprofit, private sector organization to protect all buried utilities was achieved by bringing together all the stakeholders to embrace underground damage prevention as a shared responsibility. That's important, and that's still the mantra today. He allowed the stakeholder industries to work the process out by letting the chips fall as they may, and he learned how to herd cats, because that's what we did during the years of the Common Ground Study. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Rich Felder to the stage.
I've been waiting such a long time for Saturday.
Thanks, Jim. Jim Barron, one of the finest men I've ever had the opportunity to work with. Well, as founder of the Common Ground Alliance, I'm so pleased and proud to be standing at this podium today. One of my favorite sayings is, "No one cares what you know until they know that you care." This organization has embraced that concept and used it to build CGA and expand its influence. When I took the helm of the Office of Pipeline Safety in 1995, excavation damage was the #1 cause of pipeline incidents. I believed that the resources and the expertise required to strengthen underground damage prevention already existed in the people who design, install, operate, and protect buried utilities. My strategy was to create opportunities for the experts to work together and learn how to succeed together. First, we created a damage prevention quality action team to build a national public education campaign. The goal was twofold. First, to raise the profile of this important issue with the American people, and second, to offer the damage prevention community the experience of working together to create trust. The result of this effort was the Dig Safely campaign, which most folks were proud of, but did not sit so well with the excavators. They felt like it put a target on their backs. Fortunately, another opportunity presented itself. The Congress wanted to legislate a national one-call mandate. I resisted this approach and pushed instead for authority to do a one-year study of one-call systems and damage prevention best practices. Congress agreed, not knowing that my real plan was to convene a meeting in Washington, D.C. in August of 1998, which Jim just referred to, and issue a challenge to 160 representatives of the damage prevention community. I told them that the study was our last and best chance to show the Congress that all stakeholders could work together to produce a best practices study that would accomplish far more than any federal mandate. The meeting exceeded my expectations, with all attendees displaying extraordinary interest and willingness to dedicate considerable time and energy to what the group decided to call the Common Ground Study. All of the stakeholders who participated in the study embraced the critical value of shared responsibility, which became the touchstone for identifying the best practices. With support and encouragement from my office, the stakeholders delivered a superb product. As we were finishing, we discussed what the path forward for the report and the study participants could be. As I participated in these discussions, I saw the potential for splintering and lost momentum. I decided to take a risk that I felt would produce a much greater reward. I drafted language to be placed in a pending Senate appropriations bill that would make $500,000 available to support the establishment of a private sector, nonprofit organization that would bring the Common Ground Study to life. I decided that if I could get the money from the Congress, I would resign from my position and devote the rest of my public service to forming what is now the Common Ground Alliance. Fortunately, I had the privilege of spending one more year in the company of the best damage prevention professionals in this country. Most of them are still working with you here today, and many reside in CGA's Hall of Fame. Working together, we designed the CGA as an organization with 14-member board of directors and at that time, 5 working committees. We also had to agree on one other item of paramount importance. We needed to select a president. I had taken myself out of the running at the beginning of the process and did not want the job to go to any of the insiders. I persuaded the group to spend what they thought was too much money to hire an executive search firm and find us a top-flight CEO. Looks like we got our money's worth with our outstanding president, Bob Kipp. After that year, I stepped away from the organization as I said I would, but when I heard that your annual meeting would be in Phoenix, I could not resist reconnecting with so many good friends and salute this wonderful organization. The final thought I'd like to leave you with is the one I began with. No one cares what you know until they know that you care. I truly believe that CGA has succeeded and will continue to grow because everyone knows that this is a caring organization whose knowledge and good work is valued by all. Thank you.
Rich, we sincerely thank you for your commitment, or for your comments, and for being with us here today. In so many of the years you were with us in the beginning. The Common Ground Alliance is grateful for your service and believe your legacy has been instrumental to get us where we are today. It's quite a coincidence that about the same time you were inquiring about this meeting, some of your peers were drafting a nomination for you to be included in CGA's Hall of Fame. That being said, it's my privilege to present you this award and welcome you to the CGA Hall of Fame.
Well, this is really an unexpected pleasure. Not only do you get to come to the meeting, but you get to see a room full of people who really appreciate all the work that's been done over the years by the folks who were there at the outset. And what a wonderful day for Patty, who I didn't see her on the way in. I need to give her a big hug. Thanks so much. I'm so proud of this organization.